So I have the girls back under here. Have two sides with hay now, and the water closer to the pump. On the inside, I reinforced the deck with cow panels because they are so rough on everything. I mean, anybody who owns livestock knows that livestock are just hard on everything. So, cow panels on the inside so that they can't lean up against those slats anymore. And they have those IBC totes in there to keep them warm as well, that are just extra shelter for them. And again, I have the water container plugged in on the other side. And we have put the quail into the little rabbit hutch. Looks like I might have had kids that stepped on that rabbit hutch because the top looks a little caved in. Anyway, I have them with food and water in there. As far as the ones in the greenhouse are concerned, we prefer the Coturnix, the jumbo Coturnix, because they are not as flighty. But they seem to be more delicate. I haven't had any of the mixed breeds that I have. I haven't had any of them die spontaneously, but I have had quite a few of the jumbo Coturnix that have died spontaneously for seemingly no reason. So I have them food and water in here. I don't know if we're going to keep them out here in this little shelter or if we're just going to butcher them. The reason I brought them in was because I'm tired of going out in the greenhouse and having them blow up all over the place every time I go out. For one thing, I think it attracts predators, and for the other thing, I think it's hard on them because they keep hitting the walls of the greenhouse. So, Paigey, I need you to come clean up all this garbage that you kids have left. The netting, the Barbie, the plastic, all that needs to go in the garbage, please. So, that's how things look right now. These are the strawberry beds. I wanted to show you how I did up the water. Wow, it always looks so trashy when I take videos of it. I pulled out a nest box and haven't taken it out to the greenhouse for compost yet. Wanted to show you how I did the water. So, I don't want the goats to be able to reach as far as chewing on the cord. So what I've done is I took the big blue one and filled it with water and put the watering heater in the blue bucket, and then I took a full bucket of clean water and put that inside. And also it's easier for me to clean out the white bucket than it is the blue bucket. Yes, I don't have any green. Don't have any green. So they're in here eating all the leaves. It's going to be interesting trying to get manure out of here for the hotbed. We'll just see how that goes. Last time I used a lot of really old barn manure and it still worked just fine. So we're going to use bedding from the other shelter first, and then if I still don't have enough manure, I will see about harvesting some from here. I prefer to leave it back here to fertilize the ground that it's on, but we just barely put them in here. The bunnies are looking good. The one bunny still would not lift. She's just nutty. At one point, she actually mounted the buck vigorously, which I have seen that done before, but not in a doe that wasn't willing to be bred. But she refused to lift for him. And yes, we did start her out in his cage. He was in his cage. We brought her to him twice, and she refused to be bred. So then we took her to the hotbed space to see if she would be bred in there. She wanted nothing to do with anything with him. And then we closed this up. That's why I actually have it here. We closed this up and put them both on the floor on the pallets and let them run around. And that's when she mounted him. And at that point, I actually was like, is she a male? So then we checked her sex, and she's definitely a female. We thought maybe the people we got her from had made a mistake and she was really a male. And that's why nothing was happening, but nothing doing. And then she's been out of her cage for a day, so then we put both of them into her cage because it's a little more open than his is, and she wanted nothing to do with him. And so what we did was we took her back out in the greenhouse to the other buck that she seems to feel more fond towards, and I'm just going to leave her in there with them for a week, maybe longer. I might just leave her in there with them forever until we get some kits. And if we lose that batch, which we probably would, if she was in there with the buck, if we lose that batch, at least we know she's fertile and we can breed her for another batch. But at this point, we just really need to see what's going on with her, why she refuses to be bred. There's my little Eskimo child. We are going to sew her a new coat because she needs a new coat, and this is a 12-year-old's coat, so the sleeves don't fit.
And the coat comes higher than it's supposed to when I go up.
So we're going to try and find a really good coat pattern and make her a coat, because that just sounds like fun. So there's our 3 girls. Just FYI, those of you who store your goats next to your fruit orchard, beware. We have done that in the past. Our sheep broke our fence and then let all the goats out. The sheep didn't kill the trees. She just broke the fence so that the goats could get to the trees. And we do have some trees that are quite stunted because our goats girded them. We were able to save them by wrapping the bark that was left on them carefully in a sheet so that it wasn't get over drying and that kind of thing. But it's too far for me to be hauling water right now, and I actually feel a little bit frustrated with how far away the greenhouse is for hauling water and getting things out there that I need to, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Mr. Dirt wants to put a gate in right here so that we can just walk straight through. I don't know how much that would help. It's still just further away than most things that I'm taking care of. By the way, this is my permaculture permanent bed of greens and marigolds and strawberries and some herbs. I planted this 2 years ago, and this last year, without ever being watered by me, it survived and made lots and lots of Swiss chard and other things. And the reason I believe that it's able...
is surviving.
Yeah. And the reason I believe... Sorry, kitty. The reason I believe that it's able to do that is because it has shade. Our backyard is quite hot and quite bright, but here underneath this space it has shade. So anyway, there we go. I'll talk to you later.